I'm going live. Oh no, I'm live. With really, oh look, I tried to pop a zip. This is Dr. Mia Lueth. It is, whoa, what is it? Okay, it is May 31st, 2025. It's 5:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York, USA. I have food. I have crappy lighting. I have food in my teeth and my mouth is all on the fly now because I'm going to have to, it's going to be like that. So I got to get used to it. Which is why I was kind of blocking before. It's just hard to explain. Anyway, so this is my happy. I tried to pop a zit over here. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done that. And the fuck just happened? Did I know? Okay. Yeah. See, now I'm talking to myself. This is just what happened. Technology. I'm having an issue. It's not. Yeah, I'm having a little issue with my tech today. Cell phone. Some things are a little off, askew. Yeah, I'm live right now, actually. Right now, yeah, I get it. Somebody's uh, talking to me on the phone. Anyway, so I had to get used to some things that YouTube mobile. See, some of these things that I talk about on YouTube. They're not in the mobile app, but they are if you're using a regular computer. And yeah, I know I slept on this. Wait, I'm trying to do my lion mane for you. I'm trying to hook you up with my lion's mane. When I get up out of bed in the morning, it's great. Ah, I do have a tiny bit of product in my hair. If anybody saw the high hair episode, that was no product whatsoever. I think I got up to 3 inches or something. Anyway, so I know my background is crap, my lighting is crap, and no, I'd be much more flattering with my face over here. But reality is reality. And then I tried to pick a zit. Oh Jesus! I keep doing that on the wrong side. I gotta forget. I gotta do mirror image. And anyway, so I got all kinds of things going on, and I don't even know what to say. Doctors, who knows? Stuff keeps coming at me, and so I'm trying to make sure that I can pretty much improv the whole thing. I'm just going live on the fly for good, which is I'm good to go. There's a couple of projects I know. Somebody must be ready. One of them must be ready to go. One of them must be. I know. I got to spend time in front of the camera. I get it. I know my voice. I know. Yeah, yeah. Confirm, confirm. Um, there's some things going on that I just am not spending a lot of time with at the moment. And so anyway, yeah, bad lighting. I know I'm do some dancing. I do vocal warm ups. I gotta start doing them, but I have to get some people around me used to some things. And I have a roommate, so and the audio stuff in here is just not friendly. I mean, acoustics, but whatever. I mean, I work with what I got, which isn't much at this juncture, which is not such a big issue. See, I have to remember when I touch this side of my face, I'm actually touching the other side of my face. I keep doing that. I'm forgetting that I need to do something mirror image. Anyway, so essentially this is what I look like when I roll up out of bed. You know, uh, I mean, I don't really like cutting my hair when it's long, but I cut my hair for cancer wigs, so normally I don't cut it this short, but I had some issues. I had some issues. I had some issues. Knots that wouldn't come out. It was fun. That was not good. over the last. And somebody likes to push me around a little too much. So that's gonna stop right away. Yeah, I know. I do all this kind of solo now. I don't want to. I mean, it's just not. There just isn't much I can do about it until some of you gonna have to wake up and catch on. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to wait for a really long time. Uh, Hi there. Yeah, I've also been pushing music online, Creasesinger radio, which is something I do. I just do. I just do it. But there's some bands out there you should know. I mean, I was at one point 98 Rock, WIY Baltimore, the USA's oldest rock station. Might even be the oldest in the world, I think, and they're still going. Yeah, Baltimore 98 Rock, and for a little while in the early 2000s, I was on the board of directors, and so they asked you to pick what kind of music and all this other kind of things. Uh, and Anyway, let me just a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, there's some people I don't get a chance to talk to that often. So when I have the rare moment, no matter what I'm doing, yeah, I will sometimes just stop what I'm doing just to have a tiny bit of a conversation because some people are very busy in their schedules. I know. Some of you are going to have to learn to let go. Okay? You got to learn to let go. You got to learn to let go. Okay? I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but some of you have to learn to do that. There are ways to communicate non-verbally that some people are more sensitive to than others. So I'm a little more cautious about my hand movements, and then some of you swear I'm like leading the demons or something. I don't even know. Just get your pitchforks out and come tell me to my face, okay? I live at 533 Booth Street, Elkton, Maryland. 21921. It's in Maryland. Yep. I'm also catching up on. Uh, I did not get to see the last few episodes of The Walking Dead, and I was okay with it because there was a lot of stuff online anyway. So I mean, I got the spoilers, I got the gist, but I finally got time and a ride to go to the library so I could get season 11. So I am now finishing off that. I'm rewatching just the last season just to get myself caught back up. But I missed the last few episodes, so now I finally get to catch up to that. It's one of the things I love about libraries, and it's not always like this. And um, that light's a little better. I can't. Yeah, you guys might see some painful faces. There's like things that I've been used to doing, like crossing my legs and other with injuries. Hello and good evening to you too. Let's see, Wesby. Uh, so that's what I've been doing. So just now, if you guys hear walkers in the background, well, thank you. I appreciate you too, whoever you might be. Yeah, this lighting's getting a little better. I'm getting a little better at lighting, and I'm looking at the space that I have to do maybe some dancing, and uh, I'm also going to do some more vocal work online just to kind of show people what kind of some people have to go through to keep the voice good. And I've been one of those people, admittedly, in my life. Maybe I was not so kind to my voice when I should have been. So I'm actually pretty fortunate that my voice still kind of like holding strong. And for singing, I use the entirety of my body to sing. Some people think that's weird, and I don't care, but it's hard to explain. I mean, sometimes it's coming from like my toes, and then it hits like the left side, and then it shoots out. It's just hard to explain. So there's certain parts of my body that it's very, very painful, but then I have to build some kind of muscled back up. And so it takes me quite a while sometimes to get me all the way in tune, which is kind of how it is. But um, I've been singing since I was a little kid, and I like to do it. And I can't play guitar because I have a neurological disorder, so they tell me. Uh, yeah. So sometimes I'll stop and do things because there are people that I barely get a chance to talk to. And slow, well, this is true. Slow motion is better than no motion, right? I agree. Just that's true. Um, so I've been catching up on music. So I love music, and I mean, usually if I dive in, I'm gonna stick with you until like one of us is no longer here. Like if the band like is gone, oh, okay, or if I'm gone, that's pretty much I'm in for the whole. And so I like to listen to everything that people make. I don't just listen to the radio, and sometimes I have to stop listening to formatted radio because I really can't take it. And formatted radio, at least in the U.S., and I'll talk about 98 Rock in a minute, but at least in the U.S., like some of these songs could be out for almost a whole year, like release because the album has come out, but single releases come out here and there and sort of in chunks. So there are times I mean, I listen to the whole release. Like I want to listen to the whole release. Just want I don't like it because it's just one song. I want to hear everything they do. I mean, I may not like some of it at first, so it sometimes grows on me. I mean, it may be, certain maturity or a certain place where I'm at where it doesn't, but yeah, so I like to do that. And it does actually start to wear on me pretty badly when I've already listened to a certain, band or artist whole album and I pretty much know it by heart. I try to sing along with everybody to just kind of tune my voice with other people. And then I try and harmonize sometimes because that way I can hear what I'm doing. And it's a way for me to exercise my voice. So uh, basically, the gist of it is that's how I have to exercise my voice. I use the entirety of my body to sing. And because of certain neurological situation and some other things, and I've had to do a whole boatload of work that nobody sees because I've had physical issues and there have been a few other things. And so I have gotten to the point where when I listen to whoever's music, whoever, I mean, and I like everything from classical to speed metal. There's some I will listen to, but not on purpose. Okay, I can't really dog anybody's as long as it's music of some kind. I can't really dog anybody's, but I don't. I get frustrated after a while, and it does kind of wear me thin. Listening to formatted radio where they're spoon feeding you what you should like and what should be popular, and a lot of times I will listen to uh, a an album, and sometimes I like the songs. I can usually tell which ones are going to be the air quote mainstream hits, but usually there's a few others that I like better than those. And I also, when a formatted radio, when a release goes out, that album could be out for 6 months, 7 months, sometimes up to a year. So I've already heard it plenty of times because I will re-listen until I can at least sing. Uh, so I know the words and I can at least sing it. And sometimes I can hear other parts. I used to be able to learn guitar parts that way, but I can't really play guitar for a variety of reasons. I still try, but I have some physical issues, so it becomes a little frustrating. But I still try because who knows? I won't give up on it completely, but I do it slowly but surely so I don't get too frustrated. But the mainstream radio, I have to stop that every so often. I'll go maybe I mean, maybe a couple years and listen to it, radio or even video. Well, MTV does not have music on it anymore, but yeah, serious whatever I can get my ears on, I do have to purposely stop because like a lot of these songs, they say they're new songs, and I'm thinking, now this song's been out for a year, like it isn't new. And so the way people listen to and take in and process music, in the general large portion of population, I'm nothing like that. So in order to keep myself from getting frustrated, I just stopped listening to formatted radio. Sometimes I just go to talk radio for a little while just to hear how that works. But when it comes to music, I take in as much as I can get from the artists or whatever. So I have an understanding of their full kind of work, because there's some that, maybe you have to be in a certain kind of way to understand. Some of it might be a little more mature, some of it might be experimental, some of it might be just sort of like a band democratic way of doing it, because not all bands are going to do it democracy wise. So I love sort of just taking it all in, and nobody's allowed to tell me which songs I like best. Not anybody. That's why I listen to them purposely. Every single album I get my ears on. Situation I'm having right now is there are quite a few people who have recently sent me some links and other kind of things for listening to music, and there's few releases that are coming out. There's at least there's a pile of at least 20 new albums that I need to listen to. I don't really want to make any comments about them until I listen to the whole album, and that includes any of the songs that are released. I mean, I will mention that uh, it's good to hear Chevelle. They have an album coming out, and they did release Rabbit Hole Cowards Number One, which, if you really listen to it, that's Chevelle. I mean, that is like the essence of Chevelle. So there are people, I know I'm not the only one. When it comes to a band like Chevelle, there's others like this, but Chevelle is one of them. It's so unique that even if I didn't know that a song was Chevelle and it came on the radio and I hadn't heard it before, I guarantee you I would be able to tell you that that's Chevelle. And some people might think that's a bad thing, but to be honest, no, I mean, I wouldn't go that direction, because it just means they're unique enough that I can hear that it's Chevelle. And I listen to all different kinds of music, and I got to be honest with you, there aren't that many bands I could guess who it is on if I heard the song, let's say on the radio, without anybody saying who made it, and I'd never heard it before. There's very few bands, and I listen to so much. So it's actually should be taken as a compliment. It also should be taken as sometimes you really do kind of want to train your ears to the unique sound, because there are bands, and I know people are going to want to when they hear it. And if you think I'm talking about you, then I guess I might be, or any kind of band that you like. It sometimes a band comes out and then there's like 6 or 7 repeats that sound somewhat like that. Okay, now I'm not saying that I'm not going with that that's bad or good, and I'm not going with that's wrong or right. I'm just trying to say, because of how much music that I've listened to in the thousands, probably millions, I don't know. I'm 53. I intake music like in bizarre, yes, at such a heavy pace. A lot of people just can't even keep up with me sometimes, and that's okay, because it's just how I work. Nobody's supposed to. I'm not asking anybody to, but that kind of music, Chevelle is one of those bands I can say for sure has that unique sound. If a song came on the radio or somebody played me a song and I had never heard it before, I would know that it was Chevelle. Probably within the first, minute or so. It might even take me less than that. That's the kind of band that has that absolute distinct sound. There's no one else like Chevelle. Okay, there's no other band that plays like Chevelle. There's no one who sings like Pete. Okay, there's just no one. So that's why I appreciate them. And I can't say that all their songs are, that I really vibe on all their songs, but you, I don't. People need to understand the whole band. I mean, if you love music enough, you want to know what they made. It's not really comparison, but you hear it and it's what resonates with you. And there's things that like draw you in musically and in your ear to that band. And some people may not be drawn to it, but the people who are, they expect a certain quality. They expect a certain amount of like due diligence. They know when their band is sounding really good. And maybe if they put out a stinker of an album, it could be because they got all kinds of personal shit going on. I mean, you put out a few and you put out a stinker. Well, some people, I don't call them stinkers because usually there's a few songs that I like, but yeah, I mean, that they even might not appreciate themselves. But that's their right to do that, right? They experiment or they touch somebody or they, they're thinking in their head and they get it all produced. And then afterward, they realize, maybe that's not my best work. But it's the same thing with ice hockey. I know when my ice hockey team is being my ice hockey team and doing those things that make them successful and, make them who they are in their own unique way. Because every ice hockey team, it's an ice hockey team, but they're all slightly different in certain ways and how they're built and how they're constructed. So I really take that time to do that with music. So I'm usually ahead, but I can tell everybody I quite literally train my voice to sing everything. And it has taken years and years and years and years and years and years. And usually how I do that, I get somebody's album CD, whatever it is, I listen to it and I just keep listening to it over and over again until I know that I can sing all the lyrics. And then I will stop and start someone else's. Usually releases I can get through pretty quickly. Some of them I've been able to learn in a day. And some people tell me that that's just impossible. And I have to tell you, well, then, give me one. Give me one. I'll learn it in a day. If you give me the time to learn it in a day, I will learn it in a day. Nobody else needs to do that. It's not, it's just something I do because I've done it for so long and I listen. But mainstream radio does kind of, I cannot do mainstream a lot of the times. And the older I've gotten, it's not because I want to be different. It's not because I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not trying to be cool. I don't give a crap. I just know how to listen to music in a way that lets me know I can even kind of tell if a band is having a hard time, even without rumors. Sometimes if they put out an album, sometimes it's even in the music. I mean, I have to double check that, but sometimes they can even tell. So Chevelle's one of those bands. Duran Duran is also one of those bands. Nobody's voice is like Simon Le Bon's. Okay, I've heard a few youngsters who somewhat sound like Simon Le Bon, but Simon Le Bon plus the other dudes, especially Nick, because he and Nick have been pretty much working together Duran the whole time. They did side projects and other kind of things, and they've been back and forth with each other, but they're all back together now. So yes, bands like that. Metallica does have a unique sound, but there are a lot of copycats. And I'm not saying copycat is a bad thing. Do not assume a negative or positive connotation or denotation. Sometimes people say that and they don't want to hear it. And the fact of the matter is, they just found the right, if they were just put in the right time, at the right place, with the right vibe, and they got it out, and it became more heard, more known, more understood, and it raised up more and more people who learn from them. So they have similar sounds. Lots of bands do that, including, there are people who sing opera people. There were things that were never ever attempted vocally until someone else did it. one of the more famous tenors, or there's a female. I don't think she's alive anymore. There's a female who could just do any opera, just so ridiculously well. You'd think that, I mean, it would just blow your mind, and the consistency of it. And she could sing any language. So I'm trying to think of her name. Anyway, those kind of people, okay, I can guarantee you, it doesn't even matter if you have natural skill, because I do. Okay, I still got to spend more time than people could ever possibly imagine. Okay, I've listened to, like I said, thousands, if not millions, of songs, and that is why I'm able to do what I do. That sometimes amazes people. I didn't necessarily start that way. I knew I had the skill for it. I knew I had the talent for it. One, you got to have some support. I got support, but in an off-handed way. And, family, when you're in your family or growing up as a kid, there's some things that are constraints. And if your parents don't understand, I had one parent who did and one who maybe didn't. But regardless, if you keep going back to it, and keep going back to it, and keep going back to it, you're going to want to go deeper and deeper, and you're going to want to know more and more. And that is one way to build a voice. I tell people when they first want to play guitar, which I have one here, hold up. I've got one. This is not my Jets guitar. My Winnipeg Jets guitar is gone. Don't ask me questions. It's just gone. Okay. I'm very unhappy about it. And I had to let it go. So I just let it go. Some people cannot do that, but you should get in the habit of doing it, even if it's something you love and cherish. Especially, you don't, yeah. Anyway, it is hard sometimes to lose stuff, but just be aware if you know that someone else might get a hold of it and use it, and that's the possibility, then I just let it go. Okay? So my better guitar is gone, but this one, somebody's letting me borrow this one, and I don't even know what I was getting at. But regardless, on a guitar, one of the first things I tell people is don't do this. First, understand your guitar. Fine, this is the nut, and these are the strings, and here's this, and here's that. Okay, that's always a good thing to know. So you don't even have to go to a lesson. Understand the parts of the guitar. Okay, these are tuning pegs or machine heads. Usually, if it's an electric guitar, they're going to be called machine heads, but acoustic, they're going to be called this tuning peg. Um, but just mess with it, because you're going to want to build your calluses anyway. Okay? You're not going to be able to play effectively until you have calluses anyway. Okay? So you just keep doing that. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. So, all right. Apparently dinner's ready, and I did not know that was happening, but hey, whatever. Yeah, 98 Rock has been there for a long time, and I used to push these bands when I was a board of directors. Metallica, Chevelle, Matchbox 20, Depeche Mode, Rush, Anthrax, a few others, but those are the ones. Shinedown. Yeah, those are the ones I can think of right off the top of my head, and now I have to get off on the fly because I can't. I didn't know that was coming, so here we go. Yeah, this is I didn't know that was coming moment, but I have to get used to doing it, and many of you will understand why. But if there is one ready for me right now, yep. But you got to come to me, okay? Anyway, so if I do have to stop and do things, it's because I don't get a chance to talk to some of these people very often. And sadly, we can always hook up, and it does get a little frustrating for me anyway. So here we go. I have to get off, but I may get back on. I'm just saying, when you take in music, try and give the composers, the creators, a little more of your time, okay? Because you get a broader range, and they do one album, okay, and then the second, and after a while, you start to understand. You start to understand their music better. So you may not even understand an album, but if you try and you listen to a few, it starts to make more sense if you start to understand, kind of like you can hear kind of like how they work and hear how they are. But yeah, I mean, I give Chevelle kudos for that. Duran Duran. There's a few others that I might mention, but Chevelle and Duran Duran are one of those two bands that, if absolutely positively somebody just played me a song I had never heard before from them, I would be able to tell you it was them. So Chevelle has a new album out. Uh, there's a few others. They're coming. Bush has an album coming out. Blue October. Blue October had an enemy in their house. Having to do with Justin First and Phil. It seems like that's been taken care of. But, unfortunately, some of these things get sent to me. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. But this is up there so that when you need to know and the time comes, you'll be drawn to it. Okay? I know that some of the males out there do not want to learn from a female. Some of this is not. I'm just repeating things and reminding of things and giving my own personal thoughts. But if you really have that issue, then go find a male. Okay? But there are males who need to understand. I still need them to hear it. I still need them. So, males, you might have to be repeating what I'm saying so that they can hear it. Because I don't care about offense. I don't care how, but they need to have it. The information needs to get to them one way or the other. And I keep getting bombarded because people are trying to send me telepathic messages. That is a very difficult road to go, okay? And I'm highly empathetic. So some of you are pushing a little too hard. And I need you to slow down and back off a little, okay? And if you see this and you are pretending to be a celebrity and you are trying to contact me and you are pretending to be a celebrity, just stop now. No questions asked. Okay? It's not the right thing to do, and yeah, I'm getting to the point where I don't even care if you're a celebrity. You're gonna have to figure out a way to verify it's you. Okay? You want to keep a secret, figure it out. All right, send me something in the freaking mail. I don't really care, but I'm getting bombarded with those now too. Yeah, some of you think that you can send telepathic messages, and unfortunately, what you're sending is not your thought. You don't know what you're doing. You're sending stuff, but it isn't your thoughts. So maybe stop trying. Okay? You're causing me harm. All right, thank you.